that we all need and can use at any time in our life, but especially when, maybe for the very first time, we're experiencing a loss of someone we love and someone that was meaningful to us. And that's called grief. And grief never goes away. And so it's the familiar passage out of Psalm 23. It says, "The Lord is my shepherd, and so I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the paths for his name's sake. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I won't fear any evil, because he's going to be with me. His rod and his staff, they comfort me. He prepares a table before me, even in the presence of chaos and enemies that are around me. And then he anoints my head with oil, and my cup just overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." I never met Mitzi, but wow, I wish I would have. She sounds like she's somebody that was fun. And I like fun people, all right? I like spunky people, and I don't know, Jessica, you might have a little DNA of her, and I like you. You're fun. But today we're here just to honor. We've got a great number of you sharing today, and I appreciate that. We just bow with me and pray. Lord, here we are on this day, and we come to honor our friends, and may you come to begin the journey of remembering someone who's gone. So Lord, we invite your presence here to be with us as we honor her, and Lord, go with us as we leave this place, because it will continue on, our memories, and our hurts and our griefs, but Lord, also bring us back to the joy. And this we ask in your name, amen. I'm asked by the family to read this quote from Winnie the Pooh. "If ever there is tomorrow, when we're not together, there's something you must always remember. You are brave. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and a lot smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we are apart, I'll always be with you."
morning. I'm Brandon Walker, principal of Milford Junior High School, and I had the pleasure of working with Mitzi for the past 17 years here at MHS. And today Mitzi wins because it's Husker game day and I'm wearing an Ohio State shirt. So, Mitzi. When Jessica asked if I'd read Mitzi's obituary, I was honored. Just like her motto in Milford Public Schools, everyone has a story to make theirs to tell it. Mitzi epitomized what stories are, an opportunity to get to know your fellow human on a personal level. She loved to tell stories, but also hear those of others. She was never shy for a conversation. Ultimately, for me, Mitzi's story is defined by two words: courage and love. For 6 years, we witnessed an undeniable courage Mitzi exuded in her battle. Since the first days of her diagnosis, she told me she was going to beat cancer and lived her life with determination and fight found in very few people. She was a shining example for her students, staff, and community. Regardless of the obstacles in front of her, she showed up and gave everything she had to the day she was blessed with. Even as recently as a month ago, she was working on lesson plans for the day she could once again stand in front of her classroom and greet students with a warm smile and an opportunity to share in a language that is foreign to most. Mitzi was courage. As for love, Mitzi was love. She loved her family, she loved her students, and she loved this place. While I never wished cancer on anyone, it was a quiet conversation with Mitzi in the hospital over the past few years, where I got to experience her love the most. Those visits provided me the opportunity to meet the characters in her story that she loved so dearly. Jessica, Emily, her grandkids, Peggy, Nannen, thank you for allowing me to be a part of the moments with Mitzi and you all that I will forever cherish. One does not always have to physically say, I love you, to know you are loved. Just know you are incredibly loved. Mitzi's story will live on through all of us here today, and those she influenced throughout her life. I'm proud of you and I love you, Mitzi. You wrote a story to tell. Mitzi Jean Myers Nannen passed from our midst on Thursday morning, August 23rd, 2024 in Nannen, Nebraska, surrounded by her loving family. She was 56 years young, having fought a courageous battle with cancer, determined to return this year to her beloved students and fellow educators at Milford High School. Mitzi was born June 30th, 1968 in Defiance, Ohio, to Lewis Myers and Nancy Geese Weiner. She graduated from Ayersville High School in Defiance, Ohio in 1986. Mitzi attended the University of Nebraska and graduated becoming a Spanish teacher. She enjoyed saying she was a Husker fan, Nebraska Cornhuskers and Ohio State Buckeyes. Mitzi was a great conversationalist and never knew a stranger. She was especially thrilled upon meeting someone with whom she could practice her Spanish skills. Mitzi was politically astute, never hesitating to engage in an exchange of beliefs and views. She was an inclusive educator who saw the best of her students. Mitzi loved to travel abroad and enjoyed interacting with people from all cultures. Mitzi was preceded in death by her grandparents, Paul and Annabelle Myers in Defiance, Ohio, Homer and Barrett Jean Moore East in York, Nebraska, and niece Michaela Myers. Those remaining to cherish her memories are her daughter, Jessica, and Materius Nannen, Mesa, Arizona, Emily and Spencer Nannen Bonner, in Medilla, Nebraska. Parents, Lewis Myers of Defiance, Ohio, Nancy Jean Meyer, Bowling Green, Ohio. Brother, Matthew Myers, Austin, Texas. Aunt Peggy, Uncle Jim, Brombaugh, Hamburg, Iowa. Grandchildren, Zadrian, Mason, Braden, and Starlight. Cousins, Nathan and Joseph Brombaugh from Omaha, Nebraska. Nicholas and Vanessa Brombaugh, Rockport, Missouri. Wade and Aaron Brombaugh, Sydney, Iowa. Elizabeth and Steve Stenzel, Hamburg, Iowa, and a multitude of friends, colleagues, and students.
No! No! I'll never forget the first time I met Mitzi. I was here in Milford Public School, as Mitzi liked to say, doing my thing. And I walked by her room and I saw she was the Spanish teacher. And being fluent in Spanish myself, the first thing I said to her was, "Disculpe, estoy perdido. ¿Dónde se encuentra el baño, por favor?" Which is Spanish for, "Hey, I'm lost. Can you tell me where the bathroom is?" And as Mitzi liked to say, she looked at me and said, "Yeah, I knew this guy was for it." We continued our conversation completely in Spanish. In fact, during the conversation, the fire alarm rang. We went out into the parking lot, continued to converse, and after about 15 minutes, she asked, "Pero quién es usted y por qué está aquí? Porque no ha venido para hablar conmigo en español." So, who are you? And what are you doing here? Because obviously you didn't come today to talk to me in Spanish. And that's when I said my first word. We said our first words to each other in English, which was, maybe I should tell you in English. You're probably asking yourself the same question. Who is this guy? What is he doing here? Because he obviously didn't come to talk to us today in Spanish. Well, my name is John Coffey, and I'm Mitzi's cancer insurance agent. So, when I see Mitzi's life, to me there are two distinct books. There's Mitzi BC and Mitzi AD. That's Mitzi before cancer and Mitzi after diagnosis. I only met Mitzi BC one time, because the next time we spoke, it was her phone call that said she had gotten diagnosed with cancer. And that's when our relationship really began. In fact, I was just talking to Jim Wisenberg. I wasn't going to tell this part because I don't want to sound too much like an insurance guy, but anybody that knew Mitzi knew that she smoked. And one of the ironies of Mitzi's smoking is that's what kept her alive, believe it or not. You see, Mitzi signed up for the insurance that I offered, and she signed up a month before she turned 50. She hadn't been to a doctor in 10 years. She's at her doctor's office and just doing her first physical in 10 years. And the doctor says, "How you feeling?" She said, "Great." "You have any concerns?" She goes, "No. I jazzercise 5 to 7 hours a week. I'm in great shape. I don't have anything to worry about." She goes, "Okay, great." She goes, "Well, I do have one concern. I smoke, and, is that something you should look into?" She goes, "Well, you feel bad?" She goes, "No, got no problem." She goes, "You know what? Let's just run a scan, just to make sure." And this is like, "Really?" She goes, "Humor me." So they did and Mitzi told me, she said, "Well, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm going to get cancer. I just signed up for that cancer insurance, so I guess there's no problem there." They did the scan. She had cancer in her lungs. But as most of you probably know, it wasn't lung cancer. In fact, I still need to look at this. It was neuroendocrine cancer. Now, neuroendocrine cancer is so rare. First of all, its 5-year survival rate is 18%. By the way, speaking of rare, Mitzi was a rock star in our world because of how brave she was in her fight. There are very few people in this world that can get away with it, one name: Cher, Madonna. But in our world, she was just Mitzi. And if I talked to my colleagues and said, "I just talked to Mitzi today," it wasn't Mitzi who, it was they knew her. She was our featured speaker twice at our regional conference in Lincoln. In my 11 years of doing this, no one ever had that distinction of being asked to come out the second time, but Mitzi did. In fact, Mitzi did Ignite Lincoln, which is a Lincoln version of TED Talks. She joined Toastmasters so that, as Brandon mentioned, she could tell her story, because folks, she had to have a story. In fact, as I mentioned, her cancer is so unique. I'm going to put this in terms that Nebraskans can relate to. So later today at Memorial Stadium, there's going to be 90,000 people screaming in red. Now, if we want to put in statistical terms, the number of those people that will get cancer in the course of their lifetime is over 35,000. So just to paint this in pictures, we'll say those people are dressed in black because we want them, like the black shirts, to put a strong defense on the cancer rate. And again, to put it in terms that people can relate to, women that will get breast cancer, of those 90,000, will be over 4,500. We'll dress those in pink. 4,500, that's 2 Milfords that would, in this example, get breast cancer. But Mitzi's cancer. And by the way, as I do talk about cancer all day, every day, the color, every cancer has its own color. Breast cancer is pink. The actual color of cancer awareness, believe it or not, is purple. So thank you for wearing purple today and helping us remember this. But Mitzi's cancer is so rare that it is striped like zebras. And if we want to continue this analogy, the number of people in the 90,000 that would have Mitzi's cancer, statistically, would be 5. That's how rare her cancer is. There will be more zebras on the field in referees tonight than there would be zebras in the stands representing Mitzi's cancer. But that was Mitzi. Mitzi was unique. When she got the cancer and she thought she beat it, which we all want to hear, I remember she took her daughter Jessica to Cancun. In fact, she told me, she called Jessica and said, Jessica, vamos a pasar un rato a la playa de Cancun. Let's go hang out in Cancun for a while. Now, Mitzi kind of, after we've been doing discussions, hadn't really reached out to me until she's in Cancun. Now, one of the things that I hear from people is, oh, I'm glad that I have insurance. Thank goodness I did this. It helped me pay the bills. Mitzi texted me from Cancun and said, cancer sucks. I'm here celebrating on the beach in Cancun, and you paid for it. That is one of the best texts in 11 years that I've done. Because that was Mitzi. Mitzi treated her cancer like some pesky fly that had come in and was irritating her. She was looking for ways to help it see its way out. Mitzi was a woman who said, you know what, cancer? Yeah, you met the wrong woman here, and she was going to fight it. In fact, in the end, she actually spoke for the second time at our conference less than a week before she went back to Chicago. Oh, by the way, one other thing about her cancer. When she came back, she asked her daughter, where's the best place in America to fight this cancer? And the daughter did the research and said, I found this place in Chicago, Cancer Treatment Center of America. Now, Mitzi survived so long for a couple of reasons. Three reasons. Number one, she had some of the best doctors in America. Number two, she had love. Love from her family, her daughters, her grandkids, but love from her Milford family. I cannot tell you how many times she mentioned you to me. But the third thing that Mitzi had was she had daughters. She was one tough rock. And that's what made her an inspiration for all of us. So when in fact, Mitzi joined Toastmasters, I helped her get into Toastmasters so she could go out in the community and tell her story. By the way, Mitzi, I've got several videos that I shared with Brandon I emailed those to Brandon, or grab me, I'll send you an email with her recordings, not only her Ignite Lincoln talk, but her talks to our staff. When she passed away, and I announced to our staff, I got phone calls and texts from all over the country. I got a text from Idaho. I got a text from Texas. I got a text from Mitzi's home state of Ohio. This morning, Oklahoma emailed me and said, hey, do a great job, make us proud. I'm going to be watching on the live stream. So, one other thing. So when Mitzi went to ICU earlier this year, and Jessica and Emily said, hey, you might want to come because doctor said she's probably not going to wake up. And when she got up, and as Brandon said earlier, she said, doctor, I told you I'm going to live till I'm 80. But she lived a great long time. And her doctor that was there saw her later after she'd come back and said, Mitzi, there's not a professional here at Brian that thought you were going to make it. That was Mitzi. So the last time Mitzi came and addressed our audience, again, a week before she was put on hospice, that she fought. In fact, Mitzi had a personal trainer coming over to her house 2 times a week. She bought an elliptical that she was doing, and she said, John, the doctor told me it's not that you're going to die, or putting you on hospice because you're going to die, I'm putting you on hospice because we don't have any other recourse. But if you're good enough, you're well enough in 3 months, we'll push you back on the chemo, she said. So I told her I'm going to see him in 3 months. And she fought it to the end. But when she came and spoke at the last time, she got not 1, but 2 standing ovations. So, in memory of that, in memory of Mitzi, I'm going to ask everyone here that can, please stand. And we're going to give Mitzi a standing ovation. As we sing in Spanish, Viva Mitzi!
I'm Lisa. It's going to be hard to talk. I know you know John very much. When I was first asked to share some memories of Mitzi, I said I didn't think many of my memories would be very appropriate to share. You see, we left college. We lived on the same dorm floor. She was a freshman, I was a sophomore. And my very, very first memory of Mitzi is there was a commotion in the hallway. And Mitzi was in a heated discussion with the SA, which is the floor monitor. And though it was the first week, definitely, it could have been first day, Mitzi had already found some trouble to get into. And I thought, man, that girl's crazy. And I bet she's a lot of fun. And I was right. And we became fast friends and had a lot of fun, along with Kelly and Sherry, who also lived on that floor. They were there today, and we had too much fun, and I'm not going to share those memories. I feel very fortunate to have had Mitzi as a very dear and close friend for nearly 40 years. But I'm only one of her friends. Mitzi had many, many friends. She was rich with friends, which is a testament to the type of person I think it was appropriate for her because she was never a stranger. I think it's safe to say that Mitzi was a person who marched to the beat of her own drum. She was the type of person that when you met her once, you remembered her. And more likely than not, you became one of her friends. Because Mitzi loved people. She loved all people without judgment. She didn't care who you were, where you came from, what you looked like, what you did for a living, how much money you had, what your religious beliefs were, what your political affiliations were. She loved everyone. She saw everyone as a unique individual with interesting stories, interesting thoughts, valid opinions. She saw everybody as a human being who deserved a really good respect and dignity, and who deserved the gift of friendship, a gift she was very willing to always give. So, to my crazy friend Mitzi, crazy fun, crazy funny, crazy beautiful, crazy smart, crazy driven, sometimes crazy stubborn, sometimes crazy bossy, always crazy kind, definitely crazy forever, and definitely just all around crazy and amazing. I know I, for one, am going to miss you like crazy, and I'm sure you are up in heaven. Maybe most angels hold on to their hands.
First of all, it doesn't make sense that I'm a representative of the country. Okay? Because there's so many people that need to go on this country. And Lisa's comments about never judging anybody. You see all the people we suspect with. I'm a hillbilly dude, okay? I mean, I met Mitzi here at Milford, and she taught with my cousin down in China, and that's when we started visiting. And little did I know that crazy little run was going to end up being a really good friend. I don't do speeches written. Sorry, Brandon, I don't even have voice, even though we're supposed to. I have bullet points because I'm just, trying to. But one of the first things my wife noticed today, and I knew a long time ago, you said crazy. I got some stories over here, but defiance. Where else would I want to be born? But never knew a stranger is absolutely 100% right. I mean, every kid loved her. Maybe didn't like Spanish, people loved Mitzi. And Mitzi, what was really special to her was not just all the kids, but the special kids. And I mean that in a way, the ones that weren't accepted sometimes, the ones that were outside the normal bit, she loved those the most. Those are the ones that she loved to take under her wing. So many times I heard kids say that that was their favorite class because they wanted everything to do with her. And they could talk to her. That was a safe person. That was something very special for her to do. First of all, I'll start with Mitzi and I's relationship is based on self-trust. We are two souls that love it. And so some of my stories kind of fall along that line. I am an anti-Spanish person. It's love Mitzi, especially. You're going to make fun of me and I don't. And so for her and I to get along was always quite amazing. Our backgrounds, not too far, but she's kind of a little older than me yet. Politically. Okay. Which will lead me to one quick story, and I won't say exactly what sticker I put on my vehicle, but I covered up the Bernie Sanders bumper sticker. The day before voting? With a different bumper sticker? But that was Mitzi. She laughed. She was in her high school. She goes, "Oh my God! I can't believe you did that." I didn't know she was going to go vote that morning. I thought she was going in the evening. I put it on the night before.
Anyway, it came off. I finally put it on the tape, but you know, she didn't judge me for it. But she was so funny with that. I thank the family. I thank for being asked. Like I said, I feel like there's many people that have other stories that they can tell. But again, let me go back to sarcasm. Her cancer, you're 100% right on. I never once heard that woman say she was not. She just always figured she was going to be here. Right up to the end, and I ran the she told me this summer she was really going to have some things. And I was like, oh no. And I did, I really got back. Because I knew that she wasn't going to be together for that. And that's good, because I was like, but she never once thought she wasn't going to be back here. And so I was worried for her because I was afraid once she figured out she couldn't be back, that it might be a problem. We'll get to that. Sarcasm, we'll get there too, but a couple stories. Those of you that have been here long enough, I don't have time for us in class. If Tom McCall's in here, I always remember him. So, Chief Happens, she was a kind of makes it work. Those of you that were here remember him. Why does she have to play that stuff so loud? Oh my gosh, he would get so fired up. Some of you might remember Mitzi, she was always involved. Pep rally. I'm not sure how the insurance worked out. She not she was involved. I remember her coming out. She had missed her front tooth from a pep rally. It's like, how did you get that involved? So, the cancer, and I think that's why Mitzi appreciated me. I hope I never treated her any different. I never pulled any punches for the cancer. I always remember, those of you that know me, I walked into Mitzi's room in class one day, she had one on her desk. It's a reflex. I grabbed it and started drinking it. And I went, oh my God. And I looked around and she goes, that's mine. And the kids all kind of stopped. They heard us. And I go, oh Lord, I'm going to catch cancer. And I put it back down there. And you could have heard it again. The kids just freaked. And Mitzi just died laughing. And we later talked about it. And she loved it. Because she goes, I want the kids to know it's okay to talk to me about it. It's not, that they can joke about it. She goes, I don't want everybody to feel sorry for me. I don't want everybody to treat me like I have cancer. Brings me to another fun story at Christmas, and I apologize that I didn't get to this. Mitzi really appreciated, she told me she appreciated the meal, she appreciated everything everybody was doing when she first started. But some people got her blankets. A lot of people got her blankets. And the one day she was so fired up. What the hell do they think I have? Hypothermia? I have cancer. She goes, cancer doesn't make you cold. I joked with her I was going to start a blanket drive at Christmas morning. And she laughed. I know the spring we went up and we talked about her going to the hospital there in the spring. Yeah, I thought I was saying multiple times through too. Couldn't believe she made it back to her house. I know some of us made it up and cleaned up her yard, trimmed some trees, did some work for her up there. Never in the wildest dreams in January, February, whenever that was, that I think we'd see her home again. And so that was awesome. Never once complained. Never once made me feel like I said, like I could do something for her. I was very fortunate, incredibly fortunate. I don't know if you know. I spoke to Mitzi a day and a half before she went to the hospital for the last time. And I don't know, it was just like I had a whole list of laundry I had to take care of. I said, you know what, I'm going to call Mitzi in a few weeks. And we talked for 20 minutes. And I always appreciate that phone call because we talked about the fact that she wasn't going to be able to come back to school. And I felt really bad for her because I knew that was just, and I felt really good because she was good. She goes, I couldn't. She goes, there's no way I can do that. She goes, I'm struggling to walk a little bit. And it made me feel so much better that she was okay. Because I knew she'd been working on lesson plans. I knew she was not right about it. But I was very, very happy to hear that she was good. I'm sorry. She goes, it just can't happen right. She hadn't given up, but she wasn't going to get to. But she understood that. And I was afraid of taking that from her, my partners. No, she sounded really good. So much so that I said, well, heck, let's go to a weekend. I says, I'll tell you what, we'll go out and eat this next weekend. I'll pick you up. I said, we'll go to some Danish food place, some weird food place that I don't like at the time. You see it too. And I says, and I'll eat whatever you want me to try. Let's go have some fun. And then I said, when it's done, we'll go over. And I was, you know what? I know this guy was probably not, but let's go to a movie. And Mitzi goes, what movie can we go to? Well, at the time, there wasn't a lot of options. I'm like, I'd like to play pool. She's like, how do you want to play this? I was like, Mitzi, I can go, you know, one is going to be some play. And she said, there's going to be a lot of sarcasm. I goes, you know Mitzi? And I said, trust me, you'll laugh, you'll enjoy it. And that was a day and a half before she went to the hospital. I was going to get back to the call soon. However, like I said, had a nice conversation for 20 minutes. And then, I think it was Tuesday, she went in, no, Wednesday, and I talked to her on Monday night. Tuesday morning, honestly, just didn't get it. But, remember I said our relationship was based on sarcasm. About 11:30, 12 o'clock in the morning, we got a phone call. And I didn't see it, I was in class. And I knew I saw it was Mitzi. And I thought, no, I'm going to call her later, she's probably not going to do it. And then I heard she went to the hospital. And I learned that she was in the ambulance, being transported at that time. So, in my mind, one of two things has happened. One, she got the last laugh on me, she got mad. That's possible. Or two, she was calling to tell me she was going to have to take a picture. She took a rain check, either way. And so, we didn't get to Deadpool. Not yet. Someday we'll go to Deadpool. But it's a great chance. I do hope she understands. Yes, I ordered this. I had my wife order it the next day, right after I heard that Mitzi had passed. There's absolutely no merit. And I hope she understands in 4 weeks. This is this afternoon. Sure. I brought it up. In 4 weeks, I may light it on fire. Okay, some kind of ceremony before the hospital. We're going to miss her, but I'll be here. I'll be here. Every time we ever do, you guys think I'm upset at something. She's there watching TV with us. So, that's all.
I'm Jessica, and this is Emily, one of Mitzi's daughters. For those of you who don't know us or haven't met us in person. So when they asked me if I wanted to share only words, I was like, what words can I share? Because I definitely follow in her footsteps with the cursing. So I went, that's probably not appropriate. I don't know what I'm going to do. But maybe you know that our phones listen to us, right? Everyone knows this. When you talk about something and all of a sudden it shows up in your news feed or whatever it is on your phone. So I kept saying, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know which poem I'm going to do, which chord I'm going to do, or what I'm even going to do. And this poem showed up on my Facebook timeline, and I was like, that's what I'm going to share. So it's called Quietly. I missed you quietly today, so quietly that no one noticed. I missed you as I climbed out of bed and as I brushed my teeth. When I waited at the lights on the drive into work, and as I heard the rain outside my window. I missed you as I ordered lunch, and as I kicked off my shoes when I got home, as I switched off the lights and climbed into bed for the night. I missed you without tears, or noise, or fanfare, but oh how I felt. I felt it in the morning, at lunchtime, in the evening, and at night. I felt it as I woke, as I waited, as I worked. I felt it at home, on the road, in the light, in the dark, and in the rain. I felt it in every one of those moments, each one sitting heavier and heavier as the weight of me missing you kept growing and growing. Yes, I missed you so quietly, but I felt it so loudly.
through comments. I talked to a former student. It's like, dude, it's required that I take a foreign language. And I fought it all away. I was a jerk to her in class. But man, ended up being my best teacher ever. She accepted me, and she, right where I was at. Here's what I want us to leave with. I hate requirements. I hate wearing a mask. I hate doing the speed limit. I hate smiling when I want. But I have a requirement I want to do things. That you make the most of the rest of your life. If someone could say any part of what you have said today about Mitzi, I want that to be a requirement that you strive for that. You see, there's requirements we have to live by. Some are great. Most I hate. Some of the requirements that I've learned in my life and I've seen in others is found in Micah where it says, what's the Lord require of you? And that is to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly. When we act justly, we know what's right and wrong, and we live it. When we love mercy, we know that if it wouldn't be people that loved us, there's only way we can love others. And so I love being loved, and that way I can love you. And walk humbly, it means I put all those things together. To know I'm loved, to know that I can give love, to know I'm accepted, to know I can accept others. I'm not cocky about it. I just walk in. See, grief is in your life. It's not going to leave. So a requirement for living with this grief, from losing someone you love so much, I have 3 requirements. Just keep talking about them too. You guys need to keep talking about these stories. She always said, she always did, laugh about it, be honest about it, even if things are going to be crazy. The requirements, keep talking about it. Number 2 is keep sharing the memories. Remember when? The good, the bad, and ugly. I think Judy said, or Lisa, I don't know, it all runs together. It's awesome. Crazy. Embrace the crazy. And number 3, keep loving life. Make the most of the rest of your life. That's a requirement, guys. You got it? You can't leave here unless you meet that requirement. Life is not over for us. It's changed. But keep living and loving and embracing life and being real to yourself. And Mitzi will always be in your hearts forever. Thank you so much for coming and honoring the life of Mitzi. I have one more requirement. It's done from Jessica and Nannen, that every person cannot exit this building without going to the cafeteria, because Mr. PK Pizza Kitchen himself is giving us a great meal. And everyone needs to be there and fellowship together. So that's my last requirement. In doing that, I'm going to say a prayer in closing, and then the family will be dismissed, and you guys can just follow us over to the cafeteria. Thank you again so much. We pray. God, what a great stories and memories. Can you make that so it makes us better? Taking Mitzi's story and then letting us grab on the pieces of that. Help us laugh through the tears. Help us smile through the pain. But most of all, change us into embracing life and making the most of it, and accepting others where they're at, and knowing who I am and being bold about that, that others will see in me who I really am, and in turn embrace that and desire that, or change us to be a better people. Lord, thank you for this time to be with Jessica and Emily and families in a special way. Thank you for this food and the fellowship that we share together. In your name we pray. See you guys next time.